guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This week I'm gonna be reading popular TikTok books. So book talk is something that I've always really loved, and I think it got me back into reading. And so this week I wanted to read some popular TikTok books, maybe some books that you've seen on TikTok. Maybe there's some books that you've seen on Book Talk and you're not sure if they're actually good or not. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video of me reading some popular TikTok books. Now, it was really hard for me to pick and choose between books because I feel like there were so many books that became popular on TikTok, so I could definitely do a part 2 of this, but I managed to pick out some good ones. So the first book that I picked to be in this video is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. This is a thriller and it's supposed to be really fast-paced, and I've heard a lot of people talking about Freida McFadden as an author and that she's really good. She's a really easy read and she honestly has a lot of thriller books out, so that's exciting because if I like this then maybe I'll read some more of hers and maybe I'll get into thrillers. I don't really read them that much, but I do, but it is a genre I want to get more into. Got my talking points out and I'm ready. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
We're in Alex's room today. Okay, so I'm reading The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Like you guys saw, I just finished part 1, like the entirety of part 1, and I'm on part 2, which is 100 and almost 90 pages, 189 pages. And let me tell you, this book, I'm really liking it so far. I flew through it yesterday. I read so much of this yesterday. I think I definitely binged this yesterday. I probably read like this book in like 2 hours. Like the 100 and not even that. It was probably like an hour and a half. So I wasn't reading for that long and I read 190 pages. But I was also very much like retaining the information. This book is crazy. It's about, I don't know if I had told you what this book was about, but it's about a girl named Millie who gets hired by the Winchester family. The mom's name is Nina, the dad's name is Andrew, and the daughter's name is Cecilia. And Millie notices like really weird things happening. Like Nina kind of makes the house dirty every night, like just to watch Millie clean it up. Like it's weird. And the daughter's an absolute brat, and the husband, like the dad, is really nice. But in every like mystery book there's one character that's there to like warn the main character, and the gardener is that character in here, and you kind of get that from the very beginning, like him being standoffish towards her. Literally like what happens in this book is just crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. And there's a really odd detail about the room that she's staying in that definitely comes up a lot in this book, and I am waiting to find out like why it's a thing. But anyway, that's all I have to say. That this book is just crazy. I'm literally probably gonna finish this book right now. I have like 160 pages left, so I'm definitely gonna finish this right now, and I will update you guys when the book is done. Oops, it's backwards. I'll update you guys when the book is done. Right now I'm feeling like a 4.25 maybe. The writing's like not the best thing in the world, so that's why I feel like it's not like a 5, you know? And it's very fast paced, very kind of cliche also, but it's still really good. So I'm thinking 4 right now, but we'll see what happens in part 2. See if that goes up or down. just finished The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I think I want to give it a 4.5, maybe 4.25. I don't know. I'm torn because it was really good and the story was really good, and part 2 and part 3 were absolutely insane. Like, I really did not see it coming. Looking back on it now, I probably should have guessed what was in part 2 and part 3. Like, I probably should have put it together, but I genuinely had no idea, which was so fun. But I actually genuinely had no idea. Like, the plot twist in here was crazy. I just feel like, honestly, I don't know, it was really good. It was a really good book, and I feel like the only thing that I really didn't like about it was just that I feel like Andrew's character was just very flaky. Is that the way to describe it? I don't know. I don't want to give too much away in the book about, like, while describing his character, but I don't know. It's hard to explain because it's, like, obviously the book was really good. I really enjoyed it, but I just feel like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't know, because it was still really good. I don't know how to feel about it, and I feel like I'm not offering any kind of, like, good, insightful review of this book, but right now I want to give it a 4.5. That's what I'm thinking for it, is a 4.5. I'm gonna start a new book now, while we're still here. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is a very, very popular book, and that's why I picked it. It's perfect for this video. This has been all over TikTok. This is a romance book. I'm not entirely sure what it's about that much, but I know it's a romance book, so I'll probably like it. But yeah, I finished this, and now I'm gonna start this one. So, I have an update on Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I am on page 177. So, literally like 20 pages away from halfway through this book. This book only has 400 pages in it. And so far, I'm really loving it. I read 100 and almost 80 pages last night right after I had finished The Housemaid, and I was like flying through it. This book is really fast paced and it's still like really good. The characters in this book are Macy and Elliot, and it's like alternating point of views of then and now. It's kind of a lot like Happy Place in that sense, but this book honestly does kind of remind me a lot of Happy Place, but very different vibe. So basically Macy sees Elliot for the first time after like 10 years, I think is what it is, and he wants answers and she doesn't want to tell him the answers as to why like they stopped talking, but they were best friends when they were younger. They spent years together, and so you get like dates. So like this chapter is called Now, Saturday, October 14th, and the chapter before this was called Then, 12 years ago. So it starts off 15 years ago is the then chapters, and then it goes to, I guess, when they stopped talking, so that we know, or so that we find out like what happened. But so far it's very good. I guess you would say I'm about halfway through. Like I said, I'm like 20 pages away from halfway, so I probably won't update again until I'm either right before I'm done or when I'm done. It just depends on if I binge this today or not. But so far, I'm really liking this book. This book and the other book were some really good book choices from BookTube. Like this book and Housemaid, which I don't have anymore because I gave it back to my boyfriend's mom, but those two books were very good still. Like I was honestly a big fan. So yeah, the characters in this book, I think the younger versions of Macy and Elliot do kind of talk like they're older. Like they're supposed to be 13 in the first couple chapters of like the then chapters, and they talk like they're maybe like 18. And I think it's a little odd, but I also understand like they have that level of emotional maturity, and that's kind of why they talk like that. But I feel like you can kind of tell that an adult wrote 13-year-olds. Like sometimes you're like, oh, they're 13, it makes sense that they're 13, and sometimes you're like, an adult wrote that they were 13, if that makes sense. But it's still very good. Like I don't like hate either of their characters, and Macy is engaged in this like to a guy named Sean who is interesting. And I feel like a lot of the times in books like this, the ex-boyfriend or like the one that they're dating at the time when it starts, who's not like the love interest, is usually like the worst person ever. Like they make them out to be like this horrible person, and it's like, why is the main character even with them then, like, you know? But in this book, he's not a horrible person, so it kind of makes sense why she's with him, and like she gives reasons for like why she's dating him. And then so like I'm interested to see how they end up breaking up, because obviously like it's a love story between Macy and Elliot, so then she's probably gonna break up with this fiance. Maybe, I don't know, that'd be a crazy crazy plot twist if like she didn't end up breaking up with the fiance. But anyway, she's probably going to end up breaking up with the fiance. So I'm interested to see like how that happens. Maybe he gets super jealous or something. I don't know. But so far I'm really enjoying the book, and I'm probably gonna binge it later today if I have the time. Like an hour or so. Maybe like an hour and a half and I'll finish this book. Which is quite ambitious, but I did read 100 and almost 80 pages in like an hour and a half yesterday. So maybe an hour and 45. So I have like 220 pages left, so I feel like 2 hours with this book is like a good time estimate. So if I have 2 hours later, I will totally binge this. But so far, that's all I have to say about it, that I'm loving it. And this book is very good, and I am gonna hopefully finish this today, even though I just started it yesterday. But I'm trying to catch up to my reading goal also, so yeah. And I have one more book after this for this video, so I'm gonna hopefully finish this tonight. Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and chat because I completely lost all of me finishing Love in Other Words and of me giving my full review of the book. I lost the original footage. I don't know where it went. It was corrupted, I think is what like the right term is, but yeah. So I lost the original footage, and then I tried to talk about it again once I found out that I lost that footage, and that clip has no sound, and I didn't know that until I went to edit the video. So I have to do this again, but third time's the charm, I guess is what they say. So, obviously, I finished Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, and I absolutely love this book. I genuinely am so upset that I don't have footage of me reading it because I bawled like a baby at the end of this book. I was crying. I was literally like in tears. I was not okay. This book had me crying, and I haven't cried at a book in so long, and because of that, I was like 5 stars. I had to give this book 5 stars. There's no way that I could have cried at this book and not rated it 5 stars. That's insane. It was so good. Not only that, but I just love the book. I thought the storyline was really good. I know I told you guys a bit of what it was about. Genuinely, what is in here is so heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. It's literally like an emotional roller coaster, and I loved every second of it. I read this so fast. I genuinely ate it up. I know I say that all the time about books, but I was genuinely like inhaling this book. It was so good. I read it in the span of 2 days. I read it really fast, which means it's like really fast paced. Just always good. Love when that happens. And genuinely loved this book. It was so good. I loved the characters. I loved the structure of the book, the then versus now. I loved that. I was talking about this a little bit when I talked about right before the end when I was like halfway through, I think. But I was talking about Sean, Macy's fiance at the time, and how normally like I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but most of the time in romance books when the character is with someone already that's not the love interest, they turn out to be like the worst person ever, and you're just confused why the characters are with them in the first place. I think that's literally exactly what I said just like a minute ago, but it's fine. I was so happy with the way that it turned out, and I was just like genuinely loving every minute of this book. There wasn't a part of it where I was like hating it. I was a little bit cringed out during the then chapters when they were in their like awkward teenage, they weren't sure if they liked each other phase, and that was definitely a little bit cringy, but it wasn't bad. Like it still wasn't like I had to put the book down and I ran away from it. I was just like, ooh, next page, you know? So please go read this book. It's so good, and I really wish I had my reaction to me reading it because I genuinely was crying, like I said, and I'm very upset that I didn't have my reaction to it, but I can't recommend this book enough. I told my sister, I was like, please, you have to go read this book, which by the way, we're in front of my sister's beautiful library here in her room because I don't have bookshelves like this in my room because I have all my bookshelves at school because that's where I spend most of my time now, and so I wanted like a nice background for you guys to look at, so we're looking at her bookshelves. But anyway, I told her that she has to read this book because she hasn't read it yet, and she owns it, and she's owned it since it was like popular on TikTok. And I told her, I was like, you need to read this book because it's so good. It was genuinely so good. 5 stars. It's definitely one of my top faves of 2024 so far. Hey guys, I did start Binding 13 last night, which is probably going to be my last book for this. I will admit, okay, I did try to read Good Girl's Guide to Murder as my like second or my third book for this reading vlog. I just couldn't get through it, so I DNF'd it, and I read like 100 pages and I DNF'd it because I just did not, I don't know, I just maybe wasn't in the mood for it. I don't know what it is, but I just like DNF'd it. I'm on chapter 7 of Binding 13. I don't actually have the book. My sister has the whole series, so I might read a little bit. I might ask her if I can borrow a little bit of the book to like read a physical version of it, because I always like reading physical copies, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I did start it last night. And like I said, I'm on chapter 7. I got 80 pages in last night, and I so far, like, I don't know how to feel about it. It's definitely not a YA book, but it's kind of like written like YA. I have no idea why this is even in the YA section. It is 110%. It is 110% not YA. Like, if you have ever read any of like the stuff in this book, even like a tiny little excerpt, is that what it's called? Yeah, this book is not a YA book. So I don't know what that's about, but it's written like a YA book, if that makes sense. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm only 80 pages in, which I say that, but that's kind of a lot. But I just read really fast on the Kindle. I was only reading last night for like a half an hour. So it is really fast paced. I don't know. I just don't have enough, I guess, of it read to, I don't know. It was really fast paced. It was a really easy read, and I don't think it's bad. I will say that because Chloe Walsh like prefaces that it's set in Ireland and they're very Irish, I imagine them talking in an Irish accent, and like I don't even know what an Irish accent is. I can just hear it in my head, and I think it's kind of funny. But it's only when they say certain things that I imagine, like when they're normally talking, like this is the end of last chapter, there's a lot of dialogue there, and I don't imagine that in an Irish accent. But like when Johnny talks, I imagine him in an Irish accent. I don't know, it's really weird, but it's dual point of view, it's romance. I will say that I'm not a huge fan of Shannon's character already, because I think that she's very childish, and I've never been a fan of romances where the main girl is like super childish and the guy is like mature, because I feel like it's just kind of strange. It's like, why are you attracted to this girl that's very innocent? You know, it's kind of a little bit strange in that sense. And like, I don't hate it, but I'm just not a huge fan of Shannon's character, because I think that when she talks, it was just like, okay, I don't want to spoil it, but something happens in like the very beginning at her first day of school, and like I understand why she was acting like that, but I also was just like, please stop. Like, it was kind of cringy. It was kind of really cringy. I know like a lot of people really love this book, but I just am not a huge fan of her character right now. I just think she's very cringy and very immature, and like she's described as being like a very small woman. Like, she's only 15 and Johnny's about to be 18, so that's also a little weird. But maybe they don't like get together in this book. I don't know, because it's a whole series. But I feel like it's also weird, like I said, because she's 15 and he's about to be 18, so it's kind of strange in that sense. But she's also just like I said, like really immature, and like she is described to be like a lot smaller than everyone else, like kind of underdeveloped, and so like I understand that in that sense, but it's just not like something that I'm super into. I think that her being like underdeveloped and like smaller than like all the other kids her age is like supposed to be an excuse for why she's so like immature, because she never got a chance to, I guess, like develop, because she was so like highly bullied and all these guys were like not interested in her, so she never got a chance to like mature. But I don't know, I feel like you still know things even if you're underdeveloped. You're not completely just like unaware of everything that's going on. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna read some more of this right now. I want to try and get to page 150, because this book, I'm not even kidding you, has, at least on the Kindle, it has 610 pages. So 150, like I won't be halfway through until I'm 305 pages into the book, and that's like a whole book for me. This is a very long book, and it's kind of a lot, but I'm hoping it's probably gonna take me like a few days to get through this, because that is a lot. But if I read for like an hour, 2 hours right now, hopefully I'll read 200 pages. Oh, maybe I would get like to 280 and then I'd be almost halfway through. I don't know. My goal right now is to get to 150, which is 70 pages. I don't know. I have a weird like gauge of time. I read really fast on the Kindle, but one of my like things is that I read 100 pages in an hour, but usually on the Kindle I can read that faster. So, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. All right, let's get reading. Okay, I just wanted to like update that this book is very much written Wattpad-y. I like earlier I said it was written like YA, and I take it back. It's written like Wattpad, which I don't hate, but I think I really have to be in the mood for a Wattpad type book to enjoy it. So I don't hate this one, but I'm not super into it. Maybe later on when I'm in the mood for a more like Wattpad-y book, I'll be more into it, but right now I'm just like not super into a Wattpad book, but it's not bad. Like I'm still enjoying it. It's funny. I like Shannon's friends at Toman. I think they're kind of funny, and I like their banter, I guess. I don't know. It's not really the word that you would use to describe conversation between friends, I guess, but I don't know. I think they're funny, and I think that the writing isn't bad. I just think it's very Wattpad-y, and I don't know. I think the conversations between the friends are funny, and it's entertaining. It's an entertaining book, to say the least, I guess. So it's not bad. It's just very Wattpad-y, and I think I really have to be, like I said, in the mood for a Wattpad-y book to enjoy it. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm on page literally 100. I am in the middle of chapter 8, and I'm probably just gonna read later tonight. I know I said I wanted to get to 150, but I don't want to DNF this book, and I'm not super in the mood to read it right now, so I'm gonna read it when I'm more in the mood to read so that I don't end up DNFing this book, because I'm gonna try hard to finish it, because it is really also very long, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's not bad. It's just not like my favorite book ever. So hey guys, what's up? I'm in front of my sister's literal library here, which isn't this beautiful? I'm in her room in front of all of her books, which, look at this, wait, look at this, beautiful. Anyway, and she has a physical copy of Binding 13. I do not. I've been reading it on my Kindle. I'm on page, according to this, I'm on page 480. I kind of want to open the book to see if that's like the same. Well, like the copy I've been reading on my Kindle and the Kindle Unlimited has an extra, like a bonus chapter, so I don't know if it's gonna be the same or not. It's not. It's not the same page. I don't know. Anyway, I'm on page 480 on the Kindle. I'm 79% of the way through this book, and I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it's a really floppy book. Do you see this? I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like I like it, and I feel like it's a good book, but it's very Wattpad-y, I guess, is the way that I would describe it. I think I already described the writing as that when I was talking about it in an earlier update, but I still I stand by that. It's very Wattpad-y. But I will say that I do like that the romance part of it is not like insta-lovey, if that makes sense. Like it is very much like a normal high school relationship where they kind of like talk and they hang out and like they have these feelings for each other that they don't like act on immediately, like in a lot of insta-lovey romance books, and even a lot of like Wattpad romance books. I feel like they're just immediately like jumping right into it, but I'm kind of enjoying this. I'm not a huge fan, like I said. I don't know if I said this already. Wait, what did I talk about? I don't know if I said this earlier, but if I did, this is just furthering my opinion, but this book, truthfully, like, I don't like Shannon's character. I know that the whole thing is, like, she's supposed to be, like, smaller than them, but she's kind of giving, like, I'm so small, please protect me, I'm so small. There's a couple scenes in it where it's, like, very obvious that she's like, I'm so small, hee 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 hee, oh my god, I'm so little, I'm just a little girl, and it's kind of, like, off-putting because I feel like you shouldn't be referring to this female main character who's 15, 16, as like this little girl. She's so small and like whatever, and then this guy is like so obviously mature and he's gonna be 18. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It just is a little bit off-putting, but I'm gonna say I like Johnny's character. I think he's funny, and I think that I think I said this already too, but like I said, just like furthering my opinions on this, but the interactions between the characters is so fun. Like, I'm loving every second of it. Like, every time two characters are talking to each other, I'm having a good time. I feel like right now I am almost 80%, I'm 79% of the way through this, and I genuinely feel like I would read the second book depending on how the next 130 pages or something goes. How many pages do I have left on here? The Kindle says I have 130 pages left, so I was right. So depending on how the next 130 pages go, that just depends on, I guess, that if I'm gonna read the second book or even the rest of this beautiful series. I will say that I am genuinely kind of excited to see what's in the rest of this book, because there's some developments happening at the points that I'm at, and I like really into it. Like, I found myself reading it last night and I like couldn't put it down. It was so late and I was like, there's one more chapter, which is when I know that I really like a book, because I'm trying to binge it and I'm not like, ugh, I have to read this book, or I'm like, ugh, I've only read 20 pages, like I need to read this many pages or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to finish this. So I'm very excited about that, and I will let you guys know probably what I think at the very end. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because I just have like 130 pages left. So. And also, this is a very pretty book. I am gonna continue to read it on my Kindle though, because like I said, that's different, so I'm not gonna like switch to the physical copy or anything like that. So I am gonna continue to read this book on my Kindle, and I'll update you guys, like I said, when I'm done. So I read the chapter that I was on, so now on 511, and something big just happened, and I genuinely was shocked. Like, I don't know why this book has me like feeling like physical emotions. I feel like I'm not usually attached to these like Wattpad-y type of books. I was genuinely like shocked, and I was like, oh my god, shocked. I don't know how else to explain it, but genuinely, like I said, shocked. This is really brutal. You're kidding. I finished it.
That's the end?
Yes! It did end on a cliffhanger. I'm so upset. I've never read a romance book that ended on that much of a cliffhanger. I feel like I can't read another book. I feel like I have to read the second one now. Say hi to my sister, everyone. She has her headphones in so that she can't hear me talking, because I'm reading this book and she wants to read it and she doesn't want to know anything about it, even though I'm not going to spoil anything. But I just finished Finding 13 by Chloe Walsh on my Kindle. I also put stickers on my Kindle. Fun. We did that today. Okay. This book, I don't know how to feel, okay? It ended on a cliffhanger, which I've never read a romance book that ended on a cliffhanger like that, but honestly, it was great, and I was kind of like eating this book up, like I was binging it. And I feel like I can't say that I was binging a book and I had like a very physical like gasping reaction to the end of the book and rated a 3. But I learned that this was a book on Wattpad first, and you have to be very much in the mood to read like Wattpad books to enjoy them, and I feel like I definitely was in the mood for it. I don't know. I think in my other reading vlog, we're doing a reading vlog together, me and my sister, that I'm going to be posting probably after I post this video, and in that reading vlog, I think I said I gave Binding 13 a 3.5, but I think I'm going to give it a 4. I don't know. It's hard because I think that I wasn't a huge fan of the writing style. I'm not usually a huge fan of like Wattpad books, and I wasn't a huge fan of Shannon's character. It's hard for me to like rate. So like I wasn't a huge fan of the writing, and I wasn't a huge fan of like Shannon's character because again, like she was always like, I'm so small, and I hate like a weak female main character that has to be like protected by a man. I feel like I sound crazy when I say that. I feel like that's a common kind of like conclusion about books. When a female main character is painted to be like so weak and feeble, it just like bugs me. But you know what? I will say that Shannon did have like really good character development in this. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it obviously, but I think that her character in the beginning I wasn't a huge fan of, and then her character at the end, like, she was slaying. So I feel like it was one of those things where you just kind of have to like get through the bad parts to get to the good parts, even though like I didn't really think it was bad. Like, I liked Johnny's character, and like I said, like I liked all the friends and everything, and I don't know, the only thing I didn't like was just the concept that like she was bullied ruthlessly her entire life for no reason. Like, I don't know why everyone was targeting her so much, like what she did to even like deserve that, because it's literally like she came out of the womb and people were hating on her, and I don't know why. I wasn't a huge fan of that plot point, but other than that, I did think the book was really good, and it really did kind of like not resonate with me, but I was like into the book and I was binging it. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4, and I'm gonna read the second book right after this. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this reading vlog. I know this video is a little bit chaotic because I lost a little bit of me like reading and talking about Love and Other Words, but nonetheless, I hope you guys still enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me me read some popular TikTok books, because there are a lot more. And I could do a part 2 of this because I do have a lot of other books that are very popular on TikTok, and it was really hard for me to pick and choose through this list of TikTok books and like the books that I wanted to read. Like, it was hard for me to decide which ones I wanted to read in this video because there are just so many that I feel like are on TikTok. So I feel like most books that are popular are on TikTok, but there are some of them that really like have like a lot of hype around them, and I feel like I could do a part 2 of this if you guys wanted to see that. So let me know, and let me know if you read these books and you liked them, and let me know if, like I said, if you want to see more of these reading popular TikTok books videos from me. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Mwah!